You guys just you keep coming around. I just keep hearing about you guys.
And I might need to tell Ryan to cut that up a little bit and just put it in my audio for my phone.
First of all, I love the game. I had a passion to play the game, not only football, but I love the game of golf. And what it lends to a person and the friendships you develop on the golf course.
It's been a pleasure being on the drop. I wish you guys all the best down the road.
As someone like you have that golf itch like a lot of us do.
I keep track of you, and you are moving. You are on the move.
So listen, I'm a big New Jersey golf guy. You're very kind, Mike, and you too, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be on just a couple of Jersey boys here talking about something we love. All the best. I really enjoyed it.
This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing. In the Garden State, I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back to Interview Thursday. Excited for today's guest. We have Christian Cavaliere, who is a absolute stick in the Met area, but maybe even more importantly, or on a bigger scale, the founder of Tremont Sporting Co. They do all kinds of head covers and valuable bags, accessories. They got all kinds of stuff. And hearing how he started this in his dorm room at Boston College and to where it's grown today is a super amazing story. And just, Mike, again, just another charismatic young man that we've met in the golf industry here.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that. This has been a long time coming for me behind the scenes, trying to get a guy like him on the podcast and forever, and for whoever spoke up on our behalf to say, hey, listen, they're a bunch of good guys. Thank you. This was another good interview. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it was. Thank you to those guys that are pushing for us and for drinking the juice that we're selling. So without further ado, here's our interview with Christian. Enjoy.
Think about your caddy on the course. Their job is to take decisions and stress off your shoulders so you can focus on the shot in front of you. For the Drop Podcast, that's where Thrive comes in, your trusted partner in technology outsourcing. Just like a great caddy, Thrive knows the course ahead. They lift the burden of IT off your shoulders so you can stay locked in on what matters most, running your business. The truth is, 1/3 of businesses will unknowingly hand over sensitive data to thieves this year. And when it happens, it's not just files at risk. It's your customers' trust, your bank accounts, even the very foundation of your company. The damage can be catastrophic, and you often won't realize it until the ransom demand is sitting in your inbox. That's why your business needs Thrive. At The Drop, we rely on their managed security services to proactively protect our network, monitor threats around the clock, and give us the confidence to focus on our work. Because when it comes to cybersecurity, it's not a matter of if, it's when. Get your no obligation security recommendations and consultation today at thrivenextgen.com/the drop. That's thrivenextgen.com/the drop. All right, so today's guest is Christian Cavaliere, a longtime competitor, creative mind, and one of the most respected mid-amateurs in the game. Christian, welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, Christian, this is a long time coming, and we're excited to have you on. Again, someone of your caliber, a golfer, and kind of what you're doing in the golf space is really huge. So thank you for joining us.
Of course. I'm excited to get into it.
So let's start that process. I think one of the things for us is we see what you're doing today and all your accomplishments, whether it's on the golf course or off the golf course. But let's start to the beginning. How you got into this crazy game that we all love. What made you decide, I'm going to make this, kind of a career in a sense with what you got going on off the golf course. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So really as far back as I could remember playing golf, whether it was just in the backyard with my family, with the plastic clubs that everyone has kind of grown up with, to my first tournaments. Really how I got into it, though, was my mom, which is a little bit different. Most people say it's their dad. So my dad never played. My mom actually played growing up and in high school. And then she brought it to myself and my dad when I was about 6 and started playing a little bit and really just alongside other sports during my childhood. And then really started playing competitively, I'd say, when I was 11 years old. So I really have to thank my mom for the golf. And I have this this funny joke with my dad. My mom taught me to play golf. My mom taught me how to sew, which ended up turning into my business. I say to my dad, what do you do for me?
That's good. That's good.
So yeah, so that's my kind of first intro into golf, and obviously I can get into more details if you would like me to.
Yeah, please do. Like, talk about, obviously mom introduces you to the game, but where does that, turn into something that you love to do and now you've become competitive at, and now you're grinding and finding ways to get better?
Yeah. So I think it was really when I started in like tournament competition. I'd say when I was 11 and 12, started playing those Met PGA events, the junior series, and really fell in love with the individual aspect of the game. It was unlike anything else I had done. I'd played baseball and basketball and soccer and all the team sports growing up, and really just kind of went naturally towards golf. I loved having all of it on me, all the pressure. Um, I loved having the ball in my hand, so to speak, at all times. And it's like whatever I did was my outcome was a result of that. So I love that aspect. I also love the fact that golf, you can kind of practice whenever you want. It's not like you have to go and have a structured practice with the team and run through drills and all that stuff. It's like you can just show up to the course, spend however long you want, and get a lot of work done. So I really fell in love with that. My mom, dad would drop me off at the course in the morning, and I would stay all day, eat lunch, and practice in the morning, eat lunch, practice, play in the afternoon, or vice versa. And I just really loved being in and around the golf club. I grew up at Mayapack Golf Club up in Putnam County, and was just a range rat there. So really fell in love with that aspect. So yeah, I mean, it was like something I did alongside other sports for a while, probably until freshman year of high school when I got super serious about golf. But I just fell in love with the game and really all aspects of it from a young age.
And then in high school, I would imagine you were a pretty good golfer, getting after it there. What's the high school career like, and moving on into your later years?
Yeah. So high school golf, I started in 8th grade. I played on the high school team. So I got to move up a little bit and play with the older kids, which was a really cool experience. And my first year on the team, we had our sectional tournament, and we had sectionals at Sleepy Hollow. And I think I played okay throughout the season or whatever it was, made it to sectionals. And then I went out and I shot 33 on the front nine at Sleepy, which I guess I was like 13 then, 14 then, maybe something around that. And I was like out of my mind, and I didn't know what to do, and proceeded to shoot 45 on the back nine, I think it was. So reality set in quick, but I still vividly remember that 33 I shot on the front. I can feel the 7-iron I hit on the first hole. I can feel the shot I hit on 9. Like, it's some of those memories just stick with you. And so that was a close call in making states, and then throughout high school made the state team in my other years. And yeah, high school golf was awesome. High school golf, it's weird though, because most sports you play on the high school team, I play on a travel team, and that's how you get recognized. Really in golf, you have to go out, you have to play in AJGAs, you have to play in like national events. So as fun as the high school scene was, I had to go and travel a ton, and that probably started, I would say, my sophomore year of high school. I really started playing some more of the bigger national and regional events.
And obviously we're very successful because, when you're talking Met Junior, talking AJGA titles, obviously that leads and opens the door to Division I. And you're talking big time golf. What led you to Boston College?
Yeah. So I had looked at a bunch of schools up and down the East Coast. I'm definitely a homebody, so I didn't want to go too far. I think that's what led me to go to BC. So it was kind of a combination of location to home, East Coast, quality of golf, quality of academics, and BC just ended up being a great fit. I think my final 4 was like Elon, UVA, Yale, and BC. And Yale, I don't think I had the grades for it. And then the other two is just kind of process elimination. I decided to go with BC, and I'm really glad I did. I had a great time there. It's such a great city. I probably should have gone south because it's horrible in the winter there, and practicing there is not the easiest thing. But all in all, it was such a great experience.
Well, I'm going to get away from golf real quick and ask you, how much fun did you have at Mary Ann's in Boston College?
Oh yeah, it's a great spot. It closed my senior year, so that was like a tragedy.
Oh my gosh! I was going to say I think it's a weed shop now.
It is, yes, dispensary.
Heartbreaking.
See, we're tying ends on all woes here right now. But I think, Christian, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about your, what I like to call your dorm room hustle. Okay. Because what you have grown there at Tremont is something kind of unbelievable. I think, talk about like the beginning aspects of what you were trying to get to where it is today. What was that beginning process like?
Yeah. So it never was supposed to be a business. I just always had this creative outlet, and whether it was photography or videography or drawing or really anything, I just love to do it. Really, it started, I worked at Grayson for 6 years. I had the real privilege of being involved with them from an early stage in their company. When I think it was 17, I first met Charlie Schaefer, the founder of Grayson. He invited me down to the facility. It ended up being only 15 minutes from where I grew up. And I came in there with I was a sponge. I was just like enamored by everything going on. And I got to work with them for almost 6 years. So I think I absorbed a lot there, and it allowed me to see how I could translate this passion of photography, videography, just the creative mindset into the golf world. And I did a lot of work for them. I did a lot of their first photo and video shoots, did a lot of marketing for them. But then I guess that segued when I was at college. I hated the hats that we were given for the team. And that just naturally, I said, okay, I've seen how hats are made at Grayson. I'm just going to make them for my team. So I did that, and the team loved them. And all of a sudden I would wear them around campus, and people would ask where I got them and if they could get one. And before I knew it, I was making hats for people all around campus. And by like my junior year, I would walk to class and I would see someone walking past me with a hat that I had made, and they didn't know that I was the hat guy. I was kind of like the underground hat plug at the school for a little bit. It was a very weird and funny experience. But yeah, so that was kind of the inspiration behind it, was coming from Grayson and then just not being satisfied with what we were given at school. And I wanted something different. And yeah, the dorm room was obviously the only place where you could make it work. So I had a little sewing machine and heat seal machine in the dorm room, and I sourced patches and blank hats, and it just became a really fun little side hustle. I had one of my teammates. By the time my senior year rolled around, I was doing hats for I think 6 of the teams at BC, and then we had I think 6 schools around the Northeast that I was doing hats for. So I had boxes like stacked up to the ceiling next to my bed, and one of my teammates would come over and we'd either sew or heat seal for hours on end, and just like trying to make it work. It was a hilarious operation looking back on
it. Right, from your apartment bedroom to what you got now is really pretty wild.
The New Jersey Golf Foundation, the charitable arm of the New Jersey PGA section, is committed to positively impacting lives and communities through the game of golf, with a focus on their 3 core pillars: youth, military, and special needs, and led by PGA of America golf professionals. The New Jersey Golf Foundation hosts a dynamic lineup of annual programs for all levels and abilities, and a series of special events to support programming. Signature youth programs include Golf in Schools and PGA Junior League, while military programming is highlighted by PGA Hope, a weekly rehabilitative golf program that is saving the lives of military veterans. The foundation is also a strong advocate for inclusion through its support of Special Olympics, New Jersey Golf, and L's for Autism. To support programs and special events, please visit njgolffoundation.org or call 732-465-1212. That's njgolffoundation.org or 732-465-1212.
So you start in hats. Like when do you take that to be like, okay, I think this is something that is serious now, and we could do some head covers and shirts and all the stuff that you do now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was also a weird process, the transition period there. Like I said, never just sat down and said, all right, I'm going to build a business. It just happened organically. I went home for COVID. We got kicked out in like March, and the golf season was canceled. All the tournaments were canceled. And I was sitting at home at my parents' house in Katona. And I was like, I need to continue this side hustle. I can't stop making this side money. And I ended up taking apart a bunch of head covers, a bunch of pouches and things like that I had received over the years at tournaments. And I was like, all right, I think I could probably make this stuff. So I ordered leather, I ordered some materials, and just kind of crafted together a few prototypes and posted them on my personal Instagram. And it just really, I mean, the rest is history. Like from there, it was flooded. I started a little thing the next week, I think, where I built out in my parents' dining room. I had a couple sewing machines. I bought an embroidery machine, and I had a couple of my high school buddies who would come over every day and work, and we would just produce head covers. We produce hats and a couple other small pieces at that time. But I really have to give all credit to COVID, because without that time and without the lack of tournaments or the lack of golf to even play, I wouldn't have had those, say, call it 3 months where there was really nothing to do. So that was the beginning. And then I really had a 2-year period where I committed to Notre Dame to do a graduate year to play for them. That got canceled. So I had another basically 6 months of nothing to do. Q school got postponed, so I didn't turn pro. So like I'd like to think I worked hard and had a lot of like opportunities I created for myself, but I was just lucky that this all happened the way it did and gave me the time to experiment and kind of figure out the framework for how to start it.
We had very different COVIDs. I'm trying to figure out how to drink high noons like they're water, and you're creating a business. It's a lot different COVIDs.
But as you commit to Notre Dame, that falls through, COVID hits, and then you pivot, if I'm correct here, you pivot to Florida. Am I right with that? So obviously you go from, still what is considered the North, right? More or less. And now you're going to take your talents to the South. What went into that decision, both from a business side, but also the golf side as well?
Yeah. So really the plan was I moved down in the fall of 2020, moved in with James Nicholas, who I think you guys have had on, good buddy of mine. And that was really the plan after college, was to move down to Florida, to pursue golf, to turn pro, and to kind of go that route. So when everything kind of got postponed and canceled, I was like, all right, I'm not going to stay up here in New York when it's cold. And if I have this opportunity to go down to Florida, I'm going to take that. So I moved down in the fall, and I brought all my equipment with me and some of my machinery, and just said, we're going to continue this on as a side hustle. But really the reason why I ended up in Florida is why a lot of people do, just because of the access, the weather. Feels like it's the golf mecca down there. So that was how I ended up in Florida. And really for a year and a half, I still planned on turning pro. I still planned on playing as much as I could and competing. And then really the business was time consuming, and it was something I was really passionate about, but it was not to the point where I was like, all right, this is my thing, I'm going to do this. That didn't come really until the end of 2021 and beginning of 2022.
Yeah, I mean, and talk to me a little bit about the meaning behind the name. How did you come up with that? Why did you come up with that? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Tremont is actually the original name for Boston. Before it was Boston, was Tri-Mountain, and Tremont for short. It means the three hills of Boston. And when I went from a side hustle, I was calling it Pinpoint Custom Studio. And then when I formed the LLC, I wanted to bring in two of my teammates from Boston College to really take the leap and start this with me. So it had some cool underlying meanings there. The three of us, we met in Boston, all in golf. And so that was the meaning behind the name. One of the three partners didn't end up coming on with us. He kind of bailed right as we formed the LLC, which hurt the name. It was only the two of us, but we loved it so much. We were like, we're going to stick with it. So that was the kind of the thought process behind it.
I'm the history guy on the podcast, and that just tickled me right where I itched, because that was that I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't either. Literally being at school in 4 years and discovering that with one of my partners when we were kind of trying to think of names and concepts, that was very interesting to learn.
Yeah, no doubt. So is that so you start the LLC and you just it's taken off from there? Like, let me ask, where are you when you start the LLC in the process here? I guess that's where I want to go.
So the LLC was it was really formed beginning of 2022. That was really after the decision came at the end of 2021, where I decided not to turn pro and to go all in on the business. And that was such a weird and kind of crazy decision to make. But yeah, that was the timeline. I mean, the first Q school was the fall of 21 after COVID postponed it a year. So that was really when the decision kind of came to me. And I said, all right, what is my intention here? What's my goal here? It all came down to kind of that period.
Did you participate in Q school, or just you said I'm going to forego it in that 2021 Q school?
Yeah, I didn't end up going to Q school, so I have still never played in Q school, although it has crossed my mind a little bit to try it.
Tell you what, now that you got this like up and running, and I don't want to say it runs itself, right? But it's not like you're grinding to start a business, right? You're grinding to keep a business, which I would imagine gives you slightly more time to play and practice a little bit. Do you have aspirations of doing that?
You know, it's funny because I think about it every year this time, and I really, when I made that decision, I said, I'm going to go all in on the business. I'm going to put pro golf on the back burner. I'm not going to consider this, but I didn't think I would start playing as well as I have over the last few years, which has definitely caused me to think about it. But I'm not going to go down that route until I really feel the business is in a great place. And not that it isn't now, it's growing incredibly well. And I feel very confident about the future. I just know it needs all my time and attention. So, I mean, even I feel guilty with the mid-am stuff that I play. So to go out and try to play Q school and then God forbid I make it through and then have a whole set of new decisions to make. I don't want to put myself and kind of my team in that position yet. So maybe talk to me in 5 years if I'm still playing as well.
I mean, I think that's kind of the interesting aspect of it to me, you know, being the golf nerd that I am. Like, you're running and you're growing a golf brand, but you're still finding time to play. And it's not even just recreational play. You're playing at a very, very high level, even to having major success this year down there at the Azalea. Like, what is a week like for someone like you? Because you are running a big time business, but you're also a big time player. I think that's a question we get a lot is how do these mid-ams balance the work life and also still maintaining this unbelievable golf game?
Yeah, it's definitely something I've had to figure out. I've been really fortunate to get invited to a lot of these mid-am events around the country. I mean, people said it before I even started playing, like the cocktail tour is the best tour in golf. And it's literally true. Like, it is unbelievable. So I'm very fortunate to have those opportunities, but it's definitely not a great balance. Like, I'd say have the balance that a lot of my friends who kind of have a more stable job do, and they're hanging out with friends and, you know, going to drinks after work and all that stuff. I definitely don't do that, and I'm okay with that. I make concessions about what's most important to me, and that's golf and that's work. And this period of my life I'm going all in on, I try to say both of them. So I'd say probably 5 days a week, I'll get 2 hours or so of practice in, whether that's before work or after work. And then the rest of my day is just whatever the business throws at me, whatever needs attention. So yeah, it's a balance for sure. And obviously the travel weeks where I'm going this year, I've been fortunate enough to go out to Fisher's Island and out to LACC. So it's really just like, all right, I have to grind for these few days on the weekend so I can free myself up for these 2 days during the week that I'm missing. Um, but I love that attitude. I'm never someone to turn it off. Like, I can't stop thinking about the business at all times. I think about it on the course. I lay in bed at night thinking about it. So it never to me feels like work. It's never like I have to balance this and that. It all just kind of meshes into one big sprint that has become my life. But it's really fun, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Now, this might be a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. You're not still hand sewing these things anymore, are you?
No, I have sewn a few things this year, but more special projects, and because I really still love to create the stuff. But no, I'm not. I have an amazing team. We have about 9 people on the sewing team now, and it's just been it's been a journey building out that team and kind of moving myself off of the sewing machines. But yeah, I was for a solid almost 3 years. I was putting in hours on the sewing machine. I'm talking like 5-6 hours a day. I was at the machine.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a tough transition going from that to now, I would assume, as you know, kind of the leader of this company, that you're doing more politicking, sales, you're trying to get it into as many places as possible. So that's a vastly different from sitting behind a sewing machine.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a new set of challenges all the time. My role really has transitioned into manager, overseer, business development, making sure all the pieces are coming together well. Um, it's something that you have to kind of learn as you grow a business. Is you're not exactly operating, you're more kind of putting the pieces in place to operate. So my team has been awesome, and that's been a really fulfilling part of the process, is sourcing the right people, whether it's production or sales or design, getting everyone to mesh well and setting up the systems for everyone to work really well together. So yeah, whole different set of things to deal with and figure out. But I've loved every phase of it, and I'm sure I'll continue to develop into new roles and responsibilities as we grow.
How hands on are you still with the creative process?
As much as I can be. I like to give my team creative outlet and not really micromanage. So basically, how I structure it now is I handle the branded product, the actual design of the product, and then my team handles the kind of custom element. So when we're working with a country club or working with a college team, we're able to have that team do all the color changes, the logo swaps, the pattern creation. So they get to be deep in the weeds with each individual customer. I can come in for special projects and for some things that I just want to be involved with. But what my role really is now is the development of new products, the kind of setting up of the system and the process, and then all of the Tremont specific items.
Yeah, listen, it's definitely an interesting balance, a lot of different ways. I think one of the questions I have too is a lot about your golf game specifically. You've had success in almost everything that you've played in. Like, what does keep that competitive fire burning for someone like you? What is that thing? Is it the tournament that you haven't won that you want badly? Is it just the pure, like, hey, listen, it's a self thing, and I just want to constantly keep proving that I can do it. Like, what keeps that competitive fire burning for someone like you?
It's a really good question, and something that I've kind of wrestled with the past couple of years since I decided not to turn pro. I got the question from my girlfriend and my parents, like, why are you doing this? Like, you're not getting paid, you're actually paying to play. Like, what's the point of this? And really, it's like I like to think that a lot of us mid-am players, we have a sickness, and the only cure is competitive golf. And it's like that attitude that you create on the course, or that environment, I should say, there's really nothing like it, where you have to execute, you have to lock in, you have to focus. I can't get away from it. And I guess to answer your question more specifically, there are a lot of things in golf that I want to accomplish. Tournaments that I haven't won that I've been close on. You know, player of the year for the MGA is like the beacon right now for me, and I've now been runner up like 3 times. So I just feel I need to get over that line. And yeah, it's just the pursuit of improvement and execution under pressure. Like I love it all. And honestly, if you see me on the course, you'd think I hate it, because like I go into this just crazy competitive mindset. And when I take a step back off the course, I'm like, I really love that. But when you're in it, I think you have to switch on that killer mindset and that, serious focus. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's to prove to myself, prove to, I guess, people around me that I've been close, but I can execute, and I can finish the job. And yeah, there's so many elements of competitive golf. I mean, I could get into the side of it where I get to meet this incredible group of like-minded people around the country who you kind of travel along with. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that competitive golf has done for me and provided for me, and opportunities, and I love it all. It's a huge piece of my life.
It sounds like the long and short of that is, let's keep the competitive juices flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always say this, like golf's one of those sports, keep going with it. Until you can't perform at that level, why not keep doing it, right? It gives you happiness and joy, and it again keeps those competitive juices flowing. Do it as long as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about, like, what else would I do on a weekend? I'd hang out or go to the beach. Why don't I get myself really worked up on a golf course and get angry and stressed out? Like, why not?
I love it.
Jim Valvano said it. Get all the emotions going. Laugh,
Yeah.
cry. You do them all on the golf course. You're having a great day.
Exactly.
I got a question here, and I got two to wrap it up. But my first one I have here is, like, what is the goal now with Tremont? Obviously, you've kind of built it to where it is today. You see other brands out there doing similar things. Like, what is the goal for someone like you with your brand? Is it to get, to a certain level? Like, what would you look at it if you're kind of given like a 5-year, 10-year projection?
Yeah. So we've been in this spot since the beginning, where the primary business has been working with wholesale customers, working with country clubs, college teams, corporate outings, which I absolutely love. It's allowed us to be creative and to work with really trusted names and partners. But my ultimate goal is to grow the brand of Tremont. And that is through a lifestyle, accessories, apparel, full scope of product line, and really to develop the name and develop the brand. And that's my main focus, I would say, over the next 2 to 3 to 5 years, is to make sure our custom branch is full service and we're offering great product and servicing our partners really well, but also to grow the brand that is Tremont. In terms of kind of long-term projections, I get asked, like, do you want to sell? Do you want to exit? Like, I don't think about that at all, because I love the building of this and the day-to-day, and it's a place in golf I could be involved in the community, involved in the golf industry. I can be creative. I can, have great incentives and upside if I do things well. So it kind of checks a lot of boxes for me, and I don't really kind of get too in the weeds of like what could happen down the line. I'm more, focus on my 6, 12, 24-month goals and what I want to accomplish, and really see where that takes us. So, yeah, it's just been an awesome, creative, and fulfilling outlet for me.
Right. I guess I know the
Yeah.
next thing we need to add to our golf bag is a Tremont head cover. I guess that might be the next thing that you and I put in the golf bag.
I think we do that.
We'll have to make some drop pod covers for sure.
Listen, I know someone that will market the shit out of them, if you did. And that guy is me. Anyway, but my one question I do want to wrap this up with is, obviously you've been fortunate to play a lot of good golf here. And let's focus specifically here in New Jersey. When you're playing in different tournaments or even just being invited out at special spots, excluding Pine Valley, if you got one invite to a certain golf course here in the state, you had to drop everything what you're doing, ask a significant other for a get out of jail free card. What's that course for you?
So it's going to be Baltusrol, because I used to play the Carry Cup there. I fell in love with it then, probably when I was 14, 15. And it's going to be the upper at Baltusrol, which I think might be a little bit different. I love that place, and I mean everything about it, the layout, the condition, the history. It's awesome. It's so awesome. There's actually a mid-am tournament going on right now that I couldn't make, which I'm kind of devastated about, but it's another topic. But yeah, the Baltusrol Upper is truly one of my favorites in New Jersey. But am I allowed to have honorable mentions? Can I throw in some other
I'll
ones?
allow it. I'll allow it.
Ryan's way.
Go ahead.
Ryan's got 1 through 5 when I ask this question.
Mike asked me a question, and I go, my number one is this, but 1A, B, and C are this. So go right ahead.
I think that's the way to go. There's so many good ones. You can't just pick one. It's impossible. That's like, I love the top 5 or top 10 in the country conversation, because you could arrange them in any format and they're all good. So the other honorable mentions, I would say it's got to be Ridgewood. That's up there. Essex County for me, incredible. The back nine there is unbelievable. Somerset Hills gets thrown in the mix. And then I really like Hackensack too. So I would throw all of those into the mix as well.
It's a good list.
Great list. It's a great
really
list.
Is.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say my southern Jersey. So I haven't played Galloway. I haven't played PV yet. So I know that wasn't allowed, but my southern Jersey experience is not as strong. But I think the North Jersey courses probably take the cake anyway.
Yeah, they kind of do. They're so strong even nationally that it's tough to break through for some of those southern courses. But yeah, it's really, we're very fortunate here in the state. I'm with you. I love Balti Upper. I haven't gotten to play Balti Lower yet, but I've played the Upper a few times, and Mike and I were up there for media day, and what Gil Hans did there, I don't know if you've seen it since his restoration. Mm-hmm. It is. I didn't know he could make it better, and he made it 10 times better.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah,
I loved it before, but now it's awesome as well.
Yeah. So just real quick, I want to give you some space here to kind of push Tremont. Where can people find it? What do you want people to know? Kind of a last hurrah here for you.
Yeah. So Tremont Sporting Co. on Instagram. That's our website as well. We make custom leather goods and accessories. We service all country clubs, college teams, corporate accounts, and really what we can do is put any sort of colors, logos, branding on all of our range of products. And, we can get deep with the design process and really figuring out what makes the brand or the club unique, portraying that through the product. So that's a little bit about our product line, but where we are based, we're down in West Palm Beach. Our facility is down there. So if you're down in the area, shoot me a text and come on, stop by the facility. We'd love to show you around. I give so many tours, I feel like, throughout the winter months down there. But that's our social, our website, and our overview of what we do. But thank you for allowing me to plug it.
Oh yeah,
I will say this. You think I'm persistent with DMs? My parents live in Jupiter. When I'm down there, be ready for a few extra text messages.
Come on down. We're actually we're gonna move facilities this off season, so this winter. We've grown out. This is our third facility we've grown out of, so it's been pretty cool. And then we're gonna build out a creative space. So we're gonna have our marketing team there, and then we're gonna build out some more office space. So yeah, we might even have a little studio for you, Mike, if you need to film an episode or something down there.
Don't tease me.
Yeah.
Don't tease me. You know?
And I'm on United's website right now trying to book flights to West Palm. So yeah, we'll certainly
JetBlue,
hit
you gotta go JetBlue. Easier into PBI down there.
Yeah.
Is there a limited number on what you offer there? You said custom orders. Is it particular? Like, you know, can a team of 10 want, you know, things, or is there a limit there?
You mean in terms of quantity?
Quantity, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So we still do individual pieces. That was the core beginning of our business, was doing one-off custom pieces. So still a big part of it. And wholesale is we kind of do special purchase orders. So even at 1 to 5 pieces, but wholesale pricing really starts at a 6-piece minimum. And then to open the account is, 24, 48 pieces, depending on the product. But yeah, it's just price point and then customization. We can really be flexible on any size order.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Christian, thank you so much for joining us and spending some time. Like I said, Mike's been trying to get you on for a while, and I'm glad we were able to finally connect. And good luck to you the rest of your golf season, and keep killing it with Tremont, man. It's great stuff, and looking forward to some new head covers for me.
Yeah, we'll have to get those taken care of. Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate the time, and it was a pleasure getting to chat with you.
Yeah, take care, bud.